everyone. Welcome to our new moon virtual labyrinth walk. And it's December of 2021, Gregorian year. It's the last new moon of this calendar year and also before solstice. And those of us here in the room just pulled some divination cards. And now Jacob, our labyrinth maker, is going to share a bit about he'll describe it. He's been each time for the last couple months, he's been sharing a historical, or they're likely still around, rock art or labyrinth or meander of some sort from around the world to show all the variety of the beautiful meanders around this planet. And then I will play the video of our walk. All right, Hako, also known as Jacob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, for the last, I actually think it's been 3 months now, we've twice a month talked about different labyrinths of the world. And the last several moon cycles, I have highlighted animal effigies that people walked around that are a type of labyrinth. As long as you don't cross your path, you are participating in a labyrinth. So the circle was actually the first trance-inducing walking experience that people most probably had, where it would probably be around a fire. And as that went on, the images in people's mind inspired them to either pile up dirt or chisel into the desert soil, or in this case, into rock, the figure of an animal, a spirit that they wish to be a part of. So this week, it's interesting, as this is one of the few places that in close proximity have the animal effigies and a labyrinth. This particular place is in southern India near Goa, and it's one of the premier rock art sites in India. And it's in an area of a flat, hard iron rock, so that it would be here as if we had mesas of real flat, hard iron, and then the people live down in the river areas. So some of these flat areas are surrounded by hills, and when the forests were cut off the hills, the soil runs down in the storms and covers these areas. So what we'll be looking at has been under dirt for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And only recently, in the 90s, a storm revealed a portion of this particular area. And since then, people have been excavating and finding more and more examples. And interestingly, not too far away are some figures that have been carved into the rock that the people still revere and have rituals near. So it's kind of interesting to think that these figures, which I believe were carved over 6,000 years ago because of the fire rings that are close by in the same levels, are still practicing some of those same rituals, and with figures that look much like what we'll see. So you could go to the next slide.
Can you see that?
Yep. Okay, the one on the far right is the one that was discovered in the 90s. And here's a model of it in the middle. So you could see, and people would walk on the raised areas. of the model, but so it's close to the labyrinth, that the 7-circuit labyrinth that we use in the full moon. It's very close. So on the far left is a labyrinth that was discovered in England in the late 1940s. But this one was on a shale cliff and it was vertical. And people had to climb in order to reach this site and carve it into the rock. But the similarities in the labyrinth are evident. And it's interesting that they're both about the same period, about 4,000 years ago, 4 to 6,000 years ago. We're not exactly sure about the labyrinth there in England, but there are sites, Neolithic sites in the area that are 6,000 years old. So it's assumed
And the one on the right is where?
it's in southern India. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting that these are thousands of miles apart and yet in the same time period. So something was going on in the people's mind, the spirit world, that inspired them to carve these labyrinths. And so it's very significant that we have a labyrinth that's very close to some of the effigy animals that were carved at the same time period as a labyrinth was being used in India, in England. So the labyrinth is widespread throughout the world, and it's widespread throughout time. And some of the rituals that people are using around the world are probably continuations of very, very old practice. And I like to think that we're a part of that continuity, that we're keeping the old ways alive.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what's coming next is a video that I made last night at our, and I'll say labyrinth walk, but this time it was different. And Jacob had the idea to on the new moon, that what we're going to start doing is making a goddess shape of, like, where you walk around, like the horned animal, antlered animal that you just saw in the rock. People would walk around it, and then also a spiral. So this is, before we get to the moving video, I wanted to share a couple images of her. We laid these lights down, and this usually is the place where we would do the labyrinth. And I think that so now on full moon, we're going to do a labyrinth shape like what you saw on the left, 7-circuit. And we're going to, on the new moons into 2022, create a version of a goddess, where then we started here, right here where Jacob is, and then walked around the outside. And then when we came to the bottom of the goddess, we would start, and we would go around the spiral into the center. And then we would turn around and come all the way back out, as these people are doing. It was quite large. It used all of our lights. So how Jacob makes these, just for anyone who doesn't know, is he lays down ropes. Like here's a green ropes, and then we lay lights over the ropes, and the lights are LED strings of lights. Each one is 33 feet, and we use rechargeable batteries, so there's no waste. Quite beautiful. Very large. Usually our labyrinth takes the space of maybe this spiral, and then, if we had or the goddess. So this was quite a batch. of lights and shape. All right. In the video, it's from my perspective. I walked last or almost last, and I hold the camera and we walk the whole thing. We walk through both sides of it. I did pick a blessing at the beginning, and then there's a few blessings that other people left in the heart of the goddess, and I read those as well. You're welcome to just loosen your mind and enjoy the stroll. It was a beautiful night. It wasn't cold yet, and it was a quiet at the park, although you will hear traffic, such as it was a Friday night. And you might, since it's new moon, you might ask for insight or just soften your mind and watch the lights and see what comes to you. Maybe the blessing that will be read will have meaning for you. Thank you for being here. And it's a little under 10 minutes. And so I will see you on the other side.
Greetings, friends. A good new moon and eclipse to you, new moon in Sagittarius. We are doing something differently for this moon. And this is going to be the case for a number of months going into 2022. Jacob, the labyrinth maker, felt that it is time to do lay down a goddess of light for the new moons. So that's her. So this is a meander. We walk around and then we enter the spiral and we go to the center. We come back out. I don't know how long it will take. This is new. We have not made a goddess for some years. And here we are. Okay. So let's see what our blessing is for this time. Let's see. May the labyrinth light surround you in confidence and vitality. Yes, that sounds great. Alrighty, here we go. The heart of the goddess, heart of light. Ooh, let's take a peep in and see. Ooh, there's 3 blessings in the heart. May the hidden moon help you remember to take care of yourself. Yes, indeed. May these be messages from the heart of the goddess. And may you remember the beauty of your ancestors as well as the struggles. One more. May this new moon guide you to plant new ideas for your highest good. I like all of those. All right, here we go. And now we're coming up to her arms. A little extra light out of her impressions of arms. The goddess acts in the world, shares love, and also thinks, shares her wisdom. Hopefully with us humans. In what ways are you acting in the world that honors the goddess? That might be a message. All right, now we're walking. There's the womb of the goddess, the portal of light that we all experience on both ends of life. This is a long one tonight, quite different. This is all Jacob's creation, his idea. Spiraling in towards the center, moving towards winter solstice. This is the last new moon before winter solstice. Here we come to the center. Is there anything that you would like to leave in the center of the spiral? Maybe from this past year? Maybe a wish going forward? We could endlessly walk around the goddess and in the spiral, around the goddess and in the spiral. And here we will close, step in to the portal of light that is the goddess by so many names. Thank you for being here. Thank you for walking with me. Have a beautiful new moon.
So there you have it, a beautiful goddess of light and a fantastic spiral of light as well. This is the last new moon of this year and before winter solstice, and I wish you wellness and balance and creativity and flexibility in weaving through any kind of challenge that finds you. All right. Many blessings. We will have a full moon and winter solstice circle like this that's live in Zoom, and then we will put it out this way like you're getting it now. And that is 21st or something soon, couple weeks. So many blessings. This is, I'm Quinn with Web of Life Animus. You can find out more and also the entry link to this circle or the details about the in-person in Tucson Labyrinth Walk at weboflifeanimus.com at the event calendar and find the date. And there it is. Many blessings.